The movie begins in 1995, when a Russian mafia gang emerged in the Riviera region of France. They systematically eliminated the local mafia to seize control of the business. The leader of this Russian mafia crew is a man named Kov, a former Special Forces soldier who transitioned into a ruthless mob boss willing to do anything for money. During this period, he also brought in a young girl named Anna, who found herself in a dire situation. Fast forward 15 years, and Anna has grown weary of her criminal life, yearning for freedom. She has transformed into a determined woman driven by a thirst for revenge. Together with her comrades, they hatch an elaborate plan to settle the score with Cav for all the atrocities he inflicted upon them. Meanwhile, a group of men attempted to steal a high-end car in a parking lot, unaware of the unforeseen events awaiting them. The car belonged to Frank, a renowned courier who had customized his vehicle to be controlled through his phone, leaving the robbers bewildered. Initially, Frank tried to brush them off, but the situation escalated as the assailants initiated the confrontation. Drawing on his background as a former Special Forces operative, Frank swiftly and decisively incapacitated the would-be robbers. Following this encounter, Frank proceeded to collect his client, who happened to be his father, Martin. Having recently retired as a top-secret agent in England, Martin enjoyed a comfortable pension. During their journey, Martin expressed a desire to strengthen his bond with his son Frank, given their past absorption in demanding careers. On that same evening, a woman named CH was in a hotel room with her client Turin, unaware of his connection to Cav's unfolding events. Accountant Turgeon and his crew sought action with Cho, but her friend Jana's arrival led to a violent encounter. Gina and Cho, friends of Anna seeking vengeance against Kosov, swiftly dealt with Turgeon's gang and cleaned up the scene, concealing their involvement. Meanwhile, Frank and his father discussed their careers. Frank unexpectedly received a call to be a driver. Kosov, on the other hand, was revealed on a cruise ship with associates Liowski and Urov. Having previously aided KS in taking control of the Riviera region, Kov and his assistant MAA received word of Turan's death while enjoying themselves. Intrigued, they decided to visit Turan's body at the police station. However, the police's suspicion of Kosov for Turan's death perturbed him, prompting a challenge to assert his dominance. Meanwhile, Frank met with his new client at a restaurant, only to discover it was Anna, adhering to their initial nameless interaction. Anna had a specific request: transporting 2 104-kilogram packages while ensuring her safety, supported by an upfront payment. Frank, after preparing his vehicle, regretfully canceled dinner plans with his father due to a wine delivery commitment. 3 hours later, Frank arrived at a bank to pick up Anna, who had donned a convincing disguise. She persuaded Jana and Cho to join them in Frank's car. Initially hesitant, Frank realized that the package Anna mentioned was, in fact, 2 people. Gina, brandishing a firearm and presenting a video of Martin held captive, left no room for doubt about their seriousness. Maria was a collaborator in Anna's crew. Meanwhile, the police began to suspect Frank and his group. To avoid capture, Frank had to act swiftly, using his exceptional driving skills to outmaneuver the police, causing their cars to skid and collide as he tampered with a water pipe, making the road slippery. With his escape secured, Frank switched to another car and took steps to eliminate any incriminating evidence by setting his old vehicle ablaze. Meanwhile, Kosov's distress mounted upon discovering his prized possessions and confidential documents missing. It dawned on him that Anna had masterminded Turan's murder all along, part of a plan to secure the bank locker key and access Kosov's funds. Unbeknownst to Kosov, Anna was the true brains behind the operation. To uncover the culprits, Carasso ordered MAA to gather the women in his organization. Their investigation revealed that 4 individuals, including Anna, were conspicuously absent. In a nutshell, Frank successfully transported Anna and her 3 friends to their hideout as agreed. Yet Frank's plan to take his father home was disrupted when Anna revealed Martin's poisoning by Maria, necessitating an antidote within 12 hours. Reluctantly, Frank consented to one more mission for Anna. Their mission involved robbing Kosov's club, with Frank accompanying Anna to steal an anesthetic gas from a hospital, disguised as a doctor and patient. While in the hospital, Anna disclosed her history of being under Kisa's control since the age of 12. Frank, who had been friends with Kisa during his Special Forces days, wasn't surprised by Kisa's actions. They successfully obtained the gas, with Frank discreetly subduing a suspicious duty doctor. Meanwhile, at his headquarters, Martin's intimate moment with Gina was interrupted by Joe, who pulled her away for a robbery mission. Simultaneously, Maria recruited thugs with an enticing $1,000 fee, also charming a man who seemed to be a pilot. Kov sought Urov's assistance, leading to Urov instructing his men to contact his private pilot. Unexpectedly, the man Maria had charmed turned out to be Urov's private pilot, now held at gunpoint by her. Frank returned to pick up Anna, Cho, and Gina, all donning disguises. With determination, they prepared for their revenge mission at Kov's club, with Frank taking charge of the operation. While setting up a stolen gas cylinder, Frank is confronted by one of Kisa's men, leading to a fierce battle, ending with Frank prevailing. As more of Kisa's henchmen appeared, Frank's combat prowess allowed him to subdue 3 at once. Concurrently, Anna and her friends began releasing the gas that Frank had installed, causing everyone in the club to fall asleep. As this occurred, Kisa's guards closed in on Frank, yet he welcomed the challenge and easily dispatched them. Simultaneously, Anna and her friends engaged in hacking Losky's computer while he lay unconscious from the anesthetic gas. They successfully transferred all the money from his account. After completing their mission, Frank, Anna, and her companions prepared to exit, only to be ambushed by numerous gangsters dispatched by Kirov. Frank steadfastly chose to confront the gang members instead of retreating, ultimately defeating them. Their mission to rob the place proved successful. The following day, Maria and Martin adopted disguises as a pilot and flight attendant, replacing Urov's private pilot. Initially, Urov grew suspicious and contacted his original pilot for clarification. However, Maria's hired men had already taken the pilot hostage, compelling him to feign illness and comply with Martin's presence, securing Urov's trust. Once Urov was ensnared, Maria drugged him with a sleeping medicine-laced drink. Using Urov's fingerprint, she unlocked his cell phone and accessed the password. Now safe, her hired men proceeded to retrieve items from the safe. Simultaneously, Martin incapacitated his co-pilot to prevent the plane from taking off. Regrettably, the co-pilot's role was compromised. A sudden mishap led to the inadvertent activation of a lever, causing the plane to move. Maria and Martin found themselves confronted by Urov's men and airport security officers. Just in the nick of time, Frank, with his exceptional driving skills, arrived and rescued them. Tragically, Maria was shot by Urov's men, sustaining a severe injury. Determined to reach the nearest airport exit, Frank took a shortcut. Upon arriving at the headquarters, Anna and her friends sought a way to save Maria, involving Frank and Martin's assistance. Frank initially refused until Anna revealed that she had tricked him by falsely claiming she had poisoned Martin. Upon learning the truth, Frank chooses to help Anna rescue Maria. Thankfully, Martin's experience as a secret agent proved invaluable. Once the chaos subsided, Anna offered a heartfelt apology to Frank for her previous actions, which included the kidnapping of Martin and the fabricated poison scare. As a sign of her remorse, Anna extended an invitation to Frank for an intimate moment, which he graciously accepted. Meanwhile, Kosov, Urov, and Liowski were left bewildered as their possessions had been pilfered by the same culprits. After some investigation, Lamsky deduced that the thieves were prostitutes connected to Kosov and Frank, the latter being a friend of Kosov. Upon hearing this, Kosov vehemently denied any involvement in the robbery, vowing to catch the culprits. Meanwhile, Frank and Anna concluded their intimate moment, and Anna opened up about her traumatic childhood, revealing how she had been enslaved and mistreated by Kosov. She was once powerless, but had now found her determination to seek revenge. Shortly thereafter, Frank and Martin prepared to return home as Anna and her friends continued their mission. Planning to proceed with their mission without involving him, Frank discussed his intention to take his father home and go to Paris until the matter was resolved. However, Martin disagreed, urging Frank to confront Kosov directly. Martin's pleas couldn't sway Frank's decision, and he left for Paris after dropping off Martin. Soon, Frank received a call from Kosov, who claimed to have kidnapped Martin. Kosov offered to release Martin if Frank handed over Anna and her friends. Without hesitation, Frank returned and sought Anna's help, to which she agreed due to her indebtedness to Martin. Gina, however, refrained from joining, having returned to her family. In short, they proceeded to Kosov's place to surrender. Upon their arrival, Kosov welcomed them, particularly Frank, with whom he had once shared a close friendship. The reasons behind their strained relationship were finally unveiled. During their military service, Kosov shifted his focus to making money and betraying his comrades, while Frank remained an honest soldier. This divergence led them to opposing paths. To expedite the resolution, Frank surrendered a secret document stolen by Anna at the story's outset. As agreed, Martin would soon be released. Liowski and Urov subsequently arrived on the ship. Anna seized an opportunity by feigning to be the person tasked by Kosov to rob them. She claimed her mission was to steal from Liowski and Urov. This act ignited a standoff among the Russian mafia members, guns drawn at one another. Liowski demanded that Kosov reveal his account balance. If it had substantially increased, it would prove his involvement in the robbery. Simultaneously, Gina covertly infiltrated the submerged ship, transferring the stolen money. Kosov's account reflected a significant balance increase, stoking the fury of Liowski and Urov. Unable to explain the situation, Kosov lost control, opening fire on everyone, including Liowski and Urov. Amidst the chaos, Gina swiftly relocated all of Kosov's money to Anna's account. Unfortunately, Mesa discovered Jana's actions and shot her in the waist. Undeterred, Gina retaliated, taking down Mesa. Meanwhile, Frank engaged in a brutal confrontation with Kosov's men, while Martin, despite his age, displayed formidable fighting skills akin to those of secret agents. Spotting Gina's life ebbing away due to blood loss, Martin sadly couldn't save her, much like Cho and Maria, who had fallen victim to Kosov's brutality. The sole survivor, Anna, had been forcibly taken away by Kosov. Frank endeavored to rescue her, commencing by battling Kosov's men. Upon defeating them, he pursued Kosov onto land. A ferocious battle unfolded on the cliff's edge as Frank relentlessly attacked Kosov. Wounded and teetering on the brink of death, Frank found himself overpowered. Anna intervened, firing a shot that sent Kosov plunging into the ocean, sealing his fate. However, Anna then aimed her gun at Frank, torn between killing him out of fear of his potential betrayal and exposure to her crimes. Frank reassured Anna, expressing genuine concern and compassion. He couldn't bear to see her imprisoned, despite her past deceptions. The following day, police detectives called Martin to provide his testimony. As a responsible father, Martin only implicated Kosov as the primary wrongdoer, choosing not to implicate Frank. A month later, Anna decided to distribute the robbery's proceeds to her friends' families, as well as to Frank and Martin. This story underscores the enduring truth that revenge and betrayal perpetuate a cycle of violence and pain. In contrast, forgiveness and empathy stand as potent tools for healing and redemption.